I wanna see the light. See the light. I wanna see the light.
So the other day we got to have some special one-on-one time with the Rivian R1T, their first truck. And there were some things that we really liked that Tesla actually doesn't even offer. But we had one big issue.
Yeah, the worst thing about seeing this Rivian truck is that we still have to wait for delivery on it.
Yeah, so the order we have in actually is like the max pack and everything. And unfortunately, it doesn't sound like that's going to be manufactured right away.
That's like a 200 kilowatt hour battery.
Yeah, and I just don't want to wait anymore because driving it, like being in it, which I've seen it before at an event, but this is the first time you've ever even seen it. I'm going to go out on a limb even and say this will be our first non-Tesla EV that we own.
I agree.
I would have bought it then if we could.
Yeah,
I wanted it right there.
And they had a lot. The lot was full of them. There were probably dozens of them there. These are customer deliveries that they are preparing for the the Denver market.
Yep. Unfortunately, though, they are launch editions, and we didn't purchase the launch edition one.
We didn't get on that
but
soon enough.
If anyone has a launch edition or anyone's taking delivery and you don't want it anymore, please let me know because I want that truck now so bad.
When you first made the reservation, we did do that max pack, which was the 200 kilowatt hour battery, because we wanted the most range possible. But now that we've been talking about it, we don't really need that, because if we do get this truck, we would probably just use it for road trips around the state.
I think the 300 mile would work for us. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go ahead and highlight some of the things that we love the most. Some of the things that we absolutely think maybe Tesla should incorporate. First and foremost, I will say the interior design, really like that. It actually does kind of remind me of a little bit of the new Model S and X refresh, because you still have the instrument cluster, you still have the nice screen. It is a smaller screen than the Tesla, but still, I didn't think it was too small. We were able to do everything on it. The air vents, I love how incorporated they are, and you adjust it all through the screen. It just feels like they designed an EV and they're not using an existing gasoline car and modifying it to be an EV.
Exactly, and that's one thing we noticed, like when we saw the EV6 and like the Ford F-150 Lightning, is they still seem, the EV6 was not a gas car, but it felt like a gas car with a couple
It even had
screens.
an on-off button. Get rid of it.
And the other buttons, the HVAC and all this stuff, it just felt like an older car.
Yeah.
And they started from scratch. They could have done what Rivian did, and Rivian, it felt almost like a Tesla.
Yeah.
I mean, we got in, Eric needed to adjust the mirrors and the steering wheel. It was exactly the same. You use buttons on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And other things like adjusting the vents, as he mentioned. You just drag and point where you want the airflow to go. That's the way we're used to in Tesla, and that's the way, to me, the way of the future.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not required, but it just felt like a new car, new technology.
I just don't want all the little buttons. I don't want the knobs. It looked really nice and sleek. Now, it did have the black interior, which originally, we're not huge on black interiors, so I think we had done like the light gray for the Rivian. But I actually liked the black. It wasn't like a gloss black.
Exactly.
It was very matte looking. The seats felt great.
Yep. When we were looking at the vehicle, before we took it on the test ride, we did a walk around and checked out all the exterior features.
Which, by the way, shout out to the comms and the engineer that helped us out and kind of gave us all the stats and everything. Really appreciate
Yeah,
you
they
guys.
spent a couple hours with us
Yeah.
and answered all our questions. It was
Really nice.
Yeah. And basically, we did a quick walk around, and they had some really cool features. Like, I liked just seeing where the charge port was.
Yes.
It was really slick how you just kind of like, it opens up. And it was at a convenient location up at the front bumper. So a lot of people have problems. That's one of their big complaints about Tesla is how it's at the rear. We don't have that difficulty, but it's nice how they integrated it at the front of the vehicle. Another cool feature was, which I didn't know anything about, is the tonneau cover at the rear. It's powered, and it totally covers the bed of the truck, and you just have some buttons up the top left side, and you can push those, and the tonneau cover will just totally slide in, and then if you need it closed, you push the button, and it will retract back out.
Yeah, I actually really like that feature a lot. Really, the thing about a truck is you need some way to safely store things in the back, and that'll do it. Another thing I really enjoy about the back of the Rivian is it has a built-in air compressor.
And included the hose to allow you to inflate any of your tires that you might have lowered the air pressure if you're going off-roading.
Had some power outlets in the back. It actually had this really cool hook too, and it comes with its own cord so that you can lock gear in the back. Very secure.
It's a way to secure it, even with the tonneau cover closed or open. You can basically lock your gear in there like a bike or something like that.
Another really cool feature is the gear tunnel. I think that is something that most trucks never thought about utilizing, but it makes perfect sense.
And it was cool too because it's totally integrated into the vehicle. You don't know it's there unless you know it's there. And basically you just push a button at the top of the bed and it will just pop it open, and then you can open it up. And on the driver's side, there was like a kind of like a little hidden compartment on the door that contained that air compressor hose. And then over on the passenger side, there was actually a little first aid kit.
It goes to show you they didn't waste any space, and I can appreciate that. For a truck, if you're going to take it off-roading or whatever, you have everything you need without having to lug extra stuff with you.
Yeah. And more interior space up front. Has a really good size frunk, and it even had like a little floor that you could lift up in there, and there's a drain and everything, so you could use that as a cooler.
And that's actually where it will include your standard charging connector that comes with the vehicle. And then there's even more storage under the rear bench. It folds forward kind of like a typical truck, and you have more storage under there. And if you fold the armrest in the rear seat, you actually can access the gear tunnel from there as well. So there's just so many cool little features that I don't think any truck manufacturers ever considered.
Yeah, and that would be really cool with the pass-through like that, is that say you had a cooler or something, you don't need to take up passenger room with that. You could have it in the gear tunnel, reach back there, access your beverage, your food, whatever, and don't even need to stop or pull the vehicle over. Or again, it's like a really secure area for storage because nobody knows it's there unless you know it's a Rivian, and even if they did, it's locked. Also, another storage option is beneath the truck bed in the back. You can actually lift it up, and if you don't get the full-size spare tire, there's a little storage compartment. Well, it's a big storage compartment, actually, with some cargo dividers to keep things from moving around. Another thing, too, is like when the tailgate lowers, it has a little piece that comes down with it to fill in the gap. So
yeah, we've actually noticed my father has a Nissan truck and he doesn't have anything there. It's just like that straight gap. Having that
flat
kind
surface,
of like flat surface
in.
will make stuff so much easier to pull in and out for sure.
Another cool accessory on top of the tonneau cover on the cargo bars or whatever was the tent. A Yakima tent with a ladder that comes down, and it's got a pretty good tent. Probably a 3-man tent, I would guess, by the size, or you could fit 2 guys and 2 dogs maybe if they can get them up the ladder.
Yeah. Overall though, like originally I didn't order the tent because I wasn't sure how big it would be, like in size, like actually spread out, but kind of seeing it now made me want to buy the tent. So maybe I'll have to add that to our order. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. But it was really nice.
And it's something that you can add at a later time. It's not like you have to configure it and get that delivered with the vehicle. There's all kinds of other cool accessories like the kitchen or cook surface that goes into the gear tunnel. Yeah,
now that we actually did order on ours. I am excited for that because
like
Chef Scott will be making us some meals.
It's like a dual burner induction range.
Yes.
And more. And additional outlets and everything. Well, there were a couple other cool features as well. One of them being when you first open the driver's side door, there's a little flashlight.
That you can just
push and it'll pop out. And we found out that there's, I guess in this version of the vehicle, there's 7,776 batteries, and that one comes with another little like 2170 cells, makes it 7,777.
Yeah.
So there's a cool little flashlight there they can use and recharge a lot of time based upon that 130 battery.
As well as a Bluetooth speaker in the center console.
Yeah, integrated right below the center console, there's a pop-out rechargeable Bluetooth speaker that's like water resistant.
Yep.
And you can take it out. You can't really use it when you're driving, but you could take it out if you're out camping or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was still plenty of room there in front of the center console, and that's where I think you could add some
a lot of
aftermarket
cool
accessories.
aftermarket accessories for that. I can see some for the cargo area in the back. I can see some kind of in the front. I think this will be a very cool car to accessorize as well. Now, the interior did have a couple really cool things, like the armrest between the driver and passenger actually is like a clamshell opening. And in front of the clamshell armrest is actually dual phone chargers, Qi chargers. And we actually were able to charge mine on one side and David's on the other. There's a cool little phone stand right in front of it. There were several USB-Cs located throughout the cabin, some in the glove box, some in the headrest of the driver and passenger seat with some hooks, which would kind of be nice. Like if you have something to hang like a tablet on, you can charge it direct there for any rear passengers.
Yeah, and there were additional USB-C ports down below as well. So
Yeah.
there's USB ports everywhere, and there were power outlets all over the place as well.
Yes.
Even in the gear tunnel.
And the cabin felt really airy. Not only is the truck a pretty decent sized cabin, but you have the glass roof, which I think really opens it up, makes it feel nice, large, super comfortable. And it's like the right height too, where you don't have to like kind of sit down into the vehicle, kind of like a Model 3. It's just kind of like a nice, even transition. So after we checked out the vehicle for a little while, we actually went on our first Rivian drive. And I will tell you, it was nothing short of amazing. I was super excited about it. We did hit some traffic, but it still wasn't bad. It does actually have a traffic aware cruise control, so it will monitor the speed and brake based on the car in front of you. So that actually really helped in traffic. Unfortunately, we weren't able to use the drive assist features because we were in places with construction and such like that. Hopefully, once we get a vehicle either of our own, preferred, or maybe kind of like a couple day rental, we'll definitely check that out and show you guys kind of along with that.
Another cool feature when we were driving, it did have true blind spot detection.
Yes.
It actually has radars in each corner, so 4 bumper corner radars for like cross traffic alerts and for blind spot warnings. And it does have lights for the blind spot warning in the side view mirrors as well. Also, there's a 5th radar in the front of the vehicle, which is used for that traffic aware cruise control.
It has cameras all over the vehicle, even more so than a Tesla.
Yeah.
You have some in the side view mirrors. You actually have several cameras there. You have a camera in the front, you have some in the rear. So you can actually get that bird's eye view in the Rivian. And that's one thing we've wanted in the Tesla for a long time. It sounds trivial, but it is really helpful for when you're off-roading, especially in the Rivian, but even around town to make sure you're not curbing a rim.
I think at the front on the windshield it only has 2, but I think on each side it had like 3 cameras because we were like, oh, there's one
Yeah.
on each door, and there's more in the rear, and as Eric mentioned, in the front bumper. The overhead view was just added via software feature like in the past few days.
And the cool thing I liked about their like front fender cameras is they were very well hidden and built into that black trim. I didn't even notice them at
Little
first.
tiny dots, really small compared to those side repeater cameras that we see on the Model S. Also, besides the cameras and the radars, it does have ultrasonic sensors, which provide 360-degree coverage.
So during the drive, we actually got to drive it all the way up Lookout Mountain. And for those of you in Colorado know, it is a very windy road, and it handled beautifully. It even handled great, and it had the big like off-road tires on it. Imagine if we had like the road tires on that, it would be even smoother.
Yeah, but it's amazing. As we were doing these switchbacks back and forth, we had it. What motor was it in? There's several different modes.
We had it in sport, and it uses actually an electro-hydraulic sway bar.
Yeah,
and I was cranking it.
There was no tilting of the vehicle or anything.
The vehicle didn't tilt at all. Okay, check out this body roll, or should I say lack thereof. That's actually really impressive.
Yeah. That's what I hated whenever I would ride in my friend's Jeep Wrangler.
Just
I
one side
was
to
so
the other.
scared in that because he didn't have the doors on it, and it just felt like we were gonna flip over. You know? But yeah, you don't feel anything in this.
No, not at all.
And they had a lot of different settings, like you said, for off-road settings, sport mode, all different things that we were able to fool around with, and you could definitely feel the vehicle, responding as we made those changes.
Yeah, and we played around with the different ride heights too. It has quite the travel on that, which is great. especially in a place where you get a lot of snow if you live in the mountains or something like that. This is the truck I would own. So we were in the vehicle with the large pack, which is an estimated 314 miles of range. They do have that max pack, which will be 400 plus. And then they also are gonna have a standard pack, which is gonna be a little less. So I think overall, the large pack would be more than enough for us. The 314 miles, it's very similar to our 100D and stuff like that. So I think overall, maybe we should look at our configuration and do whatever we can to try to get it sooner, because I was really a big fan of this. Like I said, we've seen the EV6. We reserved it and got a call all of a sudden saying it's available, but it just didn't feel right for us.
Not for that price either.
Yeah.
For that price, it would be better to get a Model Y.
Exactly. And then there was also the Ford F-150 Lightning that we have a reservation for. It came up, but we went ahead and didn't continue with that. So I'm 99% sure that Rivian is going to be our first EV non-Tesla.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate at all. With all the features we saw, the interface, the
comfort, everything.
Yeah, it just felt like a new vehicle, but it would provide the utility of the truck, but still had plenty of passenger room. But when you compare it to like the F-150 Lightning, that just felt like an old Ford. While it was electrified and it was quiet and it had power, the inside it felt like a cheap Ford.
And eventually we will be able to compare it to a Cybertruck once we get one of those, because we still have some of those on order that we'll definitely get. But overall, super excited for Rivian. Now, eventually, maybe we'll be able to compare it to the Cybertruck. But to be honest, when we were at the Tesla event, I honestly thought what was going to roll onto that stage would have matched the Rivian.
Yeah, we were a little surprised when Cybertruck came out. We do still have reservations for the Cybertruck, but we thought it was going to look like the Rivian.
Yeah.
And so to see Rivian up close and personal like this, it kind of checked off a little box.
Checks off all the boxes,
yeah.
Definitely. But that's pretty much it for this one. If you guys have any questions about the Rivian, definitely drop them below. If we don't know the answer, I can reach out to some of our contacts and find that out for you. But also, tell us what you want to see in our next Rivian video, because hopefully we will be getting one for a couple days here and there, and we will be able to do all kinds of fun stuff with it. So definitely let us know what you guys want to see, and we will be sure to do that for you. But that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you are looking to accessorize your Tesla Model S, X, 3, and Y, definitely check them out. All linked down below, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. As always though, thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.